The human need to explore is deep within all of us. Our ancestors crossed mountain ranges, sailed open oceans to map new lands, and sought out the unknown, while always looking to the stars. We're curious, and now we're at a place where we can pioneer new horizons. Now is the time.
You, Shepard, have cleared the tower?
To open the promise of space to all.
Guys, we're doing it!
And lay the way for generations to come. When our descendants look to the stars, they'll remember this time. When they reflect on where it started, they'll remember this place. And when they honor those first explorers who said, "Let's go," they'll remember these bold steps. We are of Blue Origin. And this
Let's do this, New Glenn.
is just the beginning.
Howdy, and welcome everybody to New Shepard's 10th human flight. Thank you for joining us. It's another great day to fly to space. I'm Eddie Safer, joined today by Isabella Gillespie. Isabella, it's great to have you at the desk today.
Why, thank you, Eddie. I can tell you there's absolutely no place that I'd rather be, well, maybe other than the rocket itself, but I'm thrilled to be here with you.
Isabella, you've been a part of our astronaut sales team for about a year and a half, and you've done phenomenal work with the astronaut experience team for New Shepard. I think your point of view at the desk today is going to be priceless.
I really appreciate you saying so. You know, the astronaut experience team is such a phenomenal group of people. I count myself blessed to be able to work with them, work beside them. It really is the astronaut experience team, the crew member 7 team, and all the folks really behind the scenes that's able to make the magic happen down in Texas today.
That's right. Special thank you to our Texas folks that are making this launch, human launch, number 10 for New Shepard in the program, happen today. And so much work goes into curating this whole experience for our astronauts that we get to view and enjoy today. And it's certainly an exciting time for the New Shepard program as we start to increase our cadence on flights. There on the flight, in fact, on the screen in front of you, you've got our astronauts starting to egress, right? That means they've walked across to the launch tower, are walking across the gantry and ingressing into the crew capsule for today's flight. With that, Isabella, tell us who is going to space today.
I would be delighted. First, we have Lane Bess, who, in fact, is returning onto New Shepard to fly to the stars for a second time. We have Spanish adventurer and TV host Jesus Calleja. We have Elaine Hyde, an entrepreneur, physicist, and a pilot. Dr. Richard Scott, a doctor, a professor, and another avid pilot on board. Tushar Shah we have, who works in finance from New York City. And we also have a 6th astronaut on board who has requested that we not share his name today. I like to think that he simply requested he remain under the radar, but over the Kármán line. Eddie, this is going to be another incredible crew flying to space, and I love to see that crew photo. I mean, we have 6 bright, smiling faces. 5 of those are going to be newly minted astronauts, and it's extra special to welcome back Lane on board New Shepard.
No, absolutely. And, these folks showed up in Texas a few days ago, and so we had another crew photo of them in cowboy hats and really living that authentic experience. So we've got the crew photo on the top left, and on the bottom right, that's crew member 7, Rob Frulowski, getting the crew situated for, their seats. They've been training, they've got their seats adjusted, and so these are the final checks before we close the hatch. Now, as you mentioned, Lane will be the 4th astronaut we have welcomed back on board New Shepard. We're really, really proud that this experience resonates so deeply with people that several now have, come back for more. And I don't know, I think if you're Lane and you're sitting on top of the crew capsule right now, this familiar experience of having been there before with the new crew. It just adds a different flavor to the experience.
Well said. I really think it speaks to New Shepard, the program itself, and the hospitality surrounding the experience that leads up to this moment. In fact, seeing that crew get inside of the capsule, you know, what's happened is the fact that these astronauts have been practicing that very motion, those movements getting into the capsule. So right now there's a lot of muscle memory in play. I'm sure a lot of their senses are heightened. They're getting excited. The realness of this launch is setting in for them for sure.
Yeah, thank you, Isabel. I appreciate those reflections. Now, we've got the patch for our 30th mission there on the screen. This is tradition, of course, to have symbols that are personal to each astronaut that are personal to each astronaut embedded in the design. And so now with T-minus 29 minutes and 30 seconds, we're going to take a pause and enjoy the shots of the New Shepard rocket on the pad while we wait for Capcom, that's capsule communicator Jake Mills, to do a comms check-in here shortly. Let's listen in. Welcome back to New Shepard 30. That's Jake Mills in the bottom right corner, our capsule communicator, Capcom. Now, before he was crew member 7, he was a turbo machinery subject matter expert, and here momentarily he'll be checking in with each of the astronauts in their seats, calling them by their call sign, and making sure that they've got communications direct to Jake for the entire mission. Let's listen in. While we have time, Isabella, I just want to point out that is a beautiful West Texas day, clear skies. You can see the flare stack there that's burning off any excess fuel to the top left above the New Shepard rocket. These are all the systems that keep our astronauts safe during astronaut load. That's what's happening right now, right? So our astronauts went out to the launch pad, crossed the launch tower, crossed the gantry, ingressed into the crew capsule, and these are really the final steps before the capsule communication check, because after that, the hatch will close and the New Shepard operations team will clear the launch tower back to mission control. And so there's a great shot there of Rob, our crew member 7, that is with the astronauts, preparing them for those final moments before hatch closes. And I believe he's there with Mike Cox, who's you know, a technician that's been there in West Texas for a dozen years. And you know, we've got a great shot here of the desert and the name of the crew capsule. So that's RSS First Step, reusable spaceship First Step. This crew capsule has flown to space now 11 times. Today marks the 12th flight of RSS First Step. It's the vehicle that we, you know, first launched in 2021 in preparation for our first human flight, and it's the vehicle that, you know, now's flown, well, after today, will be 50 humans to space. So it's really, again, a special moment and a great view of the rocket. Let's hold here while we wait for the capsule communication test with Jake Mills, crew member 7, and our astronaut crew today.
First step, we're going to get things started with a comm check. As a reminder, hold down your push to talk button, turn your head to the right, and speak into the mic. Astronaut Best, comm check.
Blue Control, Astronaut Best, good to go.
Excellent, I have you saying. Calleja, comm check. Copy, Astronaut Calleja, coming in a little quiet. Make sure you speak right into the mic. Astronaut Shaw, Blue Control, comm check.
Blue Control, Astronaut Shaw, loud and clear.
I have the same. Hatchet, Blue Control, comm check.
Blue Control, Hatchet, loud and clear.
I have the same. Rogue, Blue Control, comm check.
Blue Control, Rogue, check.
I have you good. Astronaut Rabs, comm check.
Blue Control, Rabs, loud and clear, ready to fly.
Awesome, have you loud and clear. Height first step, we are at T-minus 21 minutes and 30 seconds and counting. Continuing through our procedures here in Mission Control. I'm going to keep you updated at everything we're doing. For now, just sit back and enjoy the experience.
Isabella, we've just heard our astronauts and their creative call signs. We've received confirmation that the communication systems are working in the cabin and everyone's good to go. Great job there by Jake Mills and Rob Frilowski, our crew member 7, that they're going to continue to get the astronauts situated, ready to fly, and accompany them to space. Every crew has a special crew name, and this crew has named themselves a Perfect 10.
Well, that makes perfect sense to me, considering the fact that this is, in fact, our 10th human flight. I love it. 10 out of 10.
Well, and perfect 10s are so elusive and so hard to accomplish in real life, so we're hoping that that's what this crew does today. If you're just joining us, we're a little over T-minus 20 minutes from New Shepard's 10th human flight. Isabella, how are we feeling?
You know, Eddie, I'll say for the benefit of Earth and our viewers at home, I'll refrain from singing, but I'm feeling good. You know, I really do get emotional when it comes time to manifest the astronauts, so when it comes time to launch them to space, I can hardly contain my excitement. I am sure the astronauts feel the same, as well as their wonderful families that are watching close by.
Yes, that's exactly right? These astronauts will experience our planet firsthand. And really, we've seen that this experience creates a new outlook for each of them. So we'd like to take a moment to, look back at the story of New Shepard so far.
Capsule.
Go.
Holy
Booster.
mushroom. Is this wild?
Go.
Each person that goes up there,
Oh my golly! This is nuts!
Ground. Go.
all of a sudden has a totally different perspective.
Wow, look at that view.
Captain. Go.
Of this little place here.
New Shepard is go for launch.
This is heaven!
It's almost like an out-of-body experience.
New Shepard has cleared the tower.
This is a new era where people like a teacher from North Carolina gets to go to space.
Space has always been something I've wanted to do, but it's never been accessible until now.
Look at that view. Look at the view.
It's just unbelievable. You have to see it with your eyes to really, really take it in. Everybody else should go to space.
Look at the Earth. Just look outside. Look at the Earth. We're in space.
This is a life-changing experience. Everybody needs to do this.
It was absolutely insane. I mean, it's the coolest thing ever. Oh my word. I'm just spinning.
That was enlightenment.
This is the best experience of my life, by far. Everyone in the world deserves to see this. Everyone needs to see this. Oh my God.
It's just a dream come true. I want to do this my entire life.
I just went to space as the first woman from Mexico.
I think we need to give this gift of perspective to everybody.
Oh man, this is so cool.
I always said I'm going to do it, and I just did it.
We went to space!
What you have given me is the most profound experience I can imagine. I can't believe this.
As soon as you land, you will want more of it.
The New Shepard astronaut alumni community putting this experience into words better than any of us ever could. Now, so far we've flown 47 people across 9 human flights. All told, that's just about over 7% of people who have ever flown above the Kármán line, all from West Texas. Following the flight today, that number will increase to 52 people. Isabella, what does New Shepard do for us?
You know, what I love is the fact that it allows everyday people like you and I and like our viewers at home to go to space, to become astronauts. In fact, a few missions ago on NS-27, we introduced our second human-rated vehicle. It was an uncrewed verification flight for the new rocket. We also flew that same booster on our most recent mission on NS-29, which is a payload flight. Now, that's not the rocket that we're looking at on the pad today, but it will be flying humans very, very soon. We added another vehicle to the fleet simply so that way we could better meet the customer demand.
Thank you. And again, amazing example today with New Shepard 10. Wow, what a crew, a perfect 10. Let's go ahead and meet the crew. We're now about T-minus 15 minutes and 30 seconds to NS-30, the 10th human flight of our program. Let's talk about the stars of the show. In seat number 1, we're proud to welcome back Lane Best, the principal and founder of Best Ventures and Advisory. He's led and built some of the world's largest cybersecurity companies, including Palo Alto Networks and Zscaler. Lane is also a trustee at Carnegie Mellon and supports numerous philanthropic interests across health and social issues. He first flew to space on NS-19, and we're so honored to welcome him back today. In seat number 2, we're thrilled to welcome Spanish adventurer, pilot, and TV host Jesús Calleja. Bienvenido, Jesús. Jesús's adventures have taken him to every corner of the world, including the 7 summits, the North and South Poles, the numerous deserts, active volcanoes, and ancient sinkholes of this earth. Jesús is also a passionate race car driver, and he's participated in numerous international racing competitions, including 4 editions of the Dakar Rally and a 3,400-mile journey from the French Pyrenees to Senegal. One thing we know for sure, Jesús is in for the adventure of his life. We're thrilled to have him on board, and we know there are so many people in Spain cheering him on today. Una cosa que sabemos con certeza, Jesús, usted está a punto de vivir la aventura de su vida. Estamos encantados de tenerlo a bordo. Sabemos que hay muchísima gente en España y por todo el mundo acompañándolo y animándolo hoy. Muchísimas felicidades.
Well said, Eddie. In seat number 3, we have founder and entrepreneur Tushar Shah. Tushar is a partner and co-head of research at a hedge fund in New York City. He studied physics as an undergraduate and high-energy experimental particle physics for his PhD. He and his wife have 2 children and are passionate philanthropists focusing on paying it forward and addressing issues related to poverty, health, and education.
In seat number 4, we have Dr. Richard Scott. Richard is a founding partner and CEO of Viverma Global, the world's largest reproductive care group with clinics and laboratories in 10 countries. He's also an adjunct professor at Yale University Medical School and the Medical School at University of South Carolina, Greenville. He founded a nonprofit focused on reproductive research, where he also serves as scientific director. Dr. Scott is a passionate pilot, and get this, he and his wife have been married for 45 years and have 4 children.
I bet they are so excited to see their dad go to space today, Eddie.
No, certainly. And Dr. Scott, we think you're in for one of the most beautiful aerial views possible to experience in your life today.
Certainly so. In seat number 5, we have Elaine Hyde. She's an entrepreneur, physicist, and an avid pilot. She's the founder of the Chicago Star, a news and media company, as well as Eastside Enterprises, a research and development company focused on AI-assisted media products. Fun fact, Elaine was born in Singapore and grew up in Australia. Space has been captivating her imagination since she was a child, like many of us watching today. During college, she studied business and physics with the goal of inventing experiments to be conducted in space. What an absolute honor it is to help fulfill her lifelong dream today of reaching the stars. You know, fun fact again, Elaine and her husband, who happens to also be a physicist, have not 4, but actually 5 children. And once again, I bet they're excited to see their mom go to the stars today.
What a great roundup of the crew today. We've got physicists, we've got partners, spouses, parents, pilots, entrepreneurs, philanthropists. It really is a credit to your team, Isabella, the astronaut experience team that has focused on getting us such a diverse slate of humans for New Shepard to fly.
You know, it takes a village, Eddie, but I will say with our mission and vision being to have millions of people living and working in space, it's something that it's extremely important that we ensure that the population in space is representative of the population here on Earth.
Perfect. Yeah, you know, a great vision. Oh, and there we have the gantry being retracted a little bit from the crew capsule. Sorry, I just wanted to call that out as it was happening. We're at T-minus 11 minutes and 30 seconds. New Shepard is on the pad and awaiting launch. If you're just joining us, this is the 30th flight for the New Shepard program and our 10th human flight. Now today, our nonprofit, Club for the Future, is sending postcards to space and back on New Shepard from space enthusiasts and partners from all over the world, including Pololo Elementary School in Hawaii, Seattle Children's Hospital, and the Space for Art Foundation. We're thrilled to support Club for the Future and inspire and mobilize the next generation to pursue careers in space, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Now, like we've done on past mission, today's astronaut crew, a perfect 10, made their own postcards to fly to space. Every time we fly astronauts, each one creates a postcard, right? Something that they can build that's small, that they take with them to space and safely back. And here they are. There's Jesús Calleja there with you know, a motif and a theme for his flight today. Isabella, have you made a postcard to space before?
I certainly have. I made my first postcard to space back in January of 2022. I had not yet joined Team Blue, but I was so inspired. In fact, I had my mom and dad right there with me. We signed a beautiful letter that we sent to the stars, and wouldn't you know it, that just 1 week ago, my dad sent me a picture of the postcard that's now been stamped, certifying that it went to the stars, it's been in space, and I cannot wait to get my postcard framed.
What an inspiring story, right? To have filled out the postcard before you started your career at Blue, now to be here doing phenomenal work with the astronaut experience team, and then receive that postcard back. That's a very special story.
It really brings it full circle, having been just 1 week ago and now being here at the desk with you, Eddie.
Now, before we wrap up this topic on postcards, I do notice we've entered a hold at the T-minus 10 minutes. You know, anyone can do this. You know, there's a digital postcard drawing tool that's open to you. If you're a student, if you're a lifelong student, you know, always want to be a lifelong learner, there's curriculum that, you know, teaches students and anybody who's doing it about space, about the value of space, walks you through the instructions. And you can also do this digitally at draw.clubforfuture.org. With T-minus 10 minutes and a little bit of a minute into the hold, let's go ahead and toss it to the New Shepard rocket at the launch pad as we wait for further direction from Mission Control. Thank you for joining us. This is NS-30, the 10th human flight of New Shepard. We are at T-minus 10 minutes, and we are in a brief hold awaiting direction from Mission Control. While we have some time, Isabella, I'd love to talk about the vehicles that are carrying our astronauts today. The capsule we talked a little bit about carries the name RSS First Step right above the hatch.
Let's break that down a bit. RSS means reusable spaceship. The capsule in today's flight has already flown to space not once, not twice, but actually 11 times. This is the same capsule that so far has flown each and every one of our human flights. It's a reusable vehicle, and that's really the vision here of all of our hardware at Blue Origin, reusability. We in fact focus this at the center of our design to ensure that these can be flown to space 25 times each. So really, this is just getting started here.
Well, and the propulsion module, the booster that RSS First Step sits on top of is Tail 4. Tail 4 has flown to space itself 12 times, and today will mark the 13th flight. So again, these are the vehicles that are proving out operational reusability. And part of that is that 99% of New Shepard's dry mass is reused. Everything from, like we talked about already, the crew capsule and the booster, but the engines, the parachutes, it's all used, on back-to-back-to-back flights.
Well said, Eddie. Reusability is absolutely pivotal for us. It's so important at Blue because not only does it help reduce the cost of space travel, it also significantly reduces waste. And, we're continuing to develop New Shepard as a program. So that being said, with next generations of vehicles, essentially, that we're building, and we're doing that in our factory in Kent. So this is going to help to improve the cadence, ensure that we're able to improve the life of the vehicle. A lot of really great work is being done to ensure that we're going to be able to fly more people to space more frequently.
Well, and, with this flight and the flight from a few weeks ago, we've got now a fleet of vehicles, meaning multiple boosters, multiple capsules, and that's going to help us increase New Shepard's cadence this year. All right, as you can see, we're still at T-minus 10 minutes. The hold is entering its 6th minute. We're going to go check in with Mission Control, and we'll be right back.
Leg 1 outlet PT has risen.
First step with control, we're still at T-minus 10 minutes, holding out 7 minutes and 30 seconds, and the team's executing the workaround to get us back into configuration for the terminal count. With that, you can hear a high spring sound, a high spin up, hydraulic on that, hydraulic pump.
Welcome back to NS-30, 10th human flight. We're at T-minus 10 minutes, and we're in a bit of a hold. Isabella, while we have some time, it's just a special opportunity that we have you as part of the customer experience team. We talked about it just right now. There's a new fleet of vehicles to meet new customer demand. Isabella, what's the process like to get on the customer manifest?
Eddie, honestly, it's as simple as going online and filling out that platform. You're going to be contacted by one of our team members, and we'll walk you through the process and the path to get to our beautiful, beautiful manifest, and how you would be able to walk on board just like you saw our astronauts do and ingress into that capsule. I'll walk you through the timeline, the pricing, the availability, what that looks like, and we can really help set the stage of expectations for the entire astronaut experience.
One of our leadership principles at Blue Origin is customer focus, right? And being obsessed with the customer experience. I think it's great that you get to talk to our customers. What do you hear from them? Why are they interested in flying on New Shepard?
And that's one of my favorite things to ask when we are talking with prospective astronauts. What's your why? Typically, you know, we're going to hear things in terms of perhaps they are a first of nation. They establish and want to be essentially, again, representing their home country. Otherwise, it's perhaps that they always wanted to be an astronaut and they weren't able to go traditional programs such as NASA. It could be something as simple as they didn't have 20/20 vision. And these are things that no longer restrict you from being able to soar to the stars. It's also something to where they're able to inspire that next generation. Every single astronaut, I truly think of them as a pioneer. They're opening that gate a little bit more each time, so that way more can follow and follow in their footsteps. So that way we're able to have, with time, millions of people living and working in space.
And Isabella, is it safe to say that QR code there is an invitation to go online, fill out the form, and tell us your why?
Please, please do. Come online, check out that QR code, fill out your form and why you're interested in going to space, and we would love to talk to you about that. We want to see millions of people living and working in space, like we say, you know, so this really means that we have to talk to everyone. And when we look at that, it's going to be essentially the goal for our focus. It's something really important to us to ensure that we have representation, as we've said, to ensure that the population in space looks like that of our population on Earth.
Okay, last question. Tell me about the astronaut experience. What happens right before your L0 launch day? Basically, the days leading up to launch.
Right. So, you know, what our astronauts could expect is to come to West Texas, out to Van Horn, 3 days before they launch. The first day, they'll get acquainted with their crew if they haven't already met them. They'll get to come to the astronaut village, of which you're staying in renovated Airstreams, tipping your hat to the Apollo era. It's something to where you'll go ahead and you'll get fitted up with your flight suit. You will be able to get custom hearing protection. As you can see in these wonderful video shots here, you're going to be able to then have 2 full days of astronaut training, and this is a bonding experience like never before. You'll get to spend time with that crew member 7 in addition to your other 5 crew members that you would be flying to space. You can see as you board, you ring the bell, and you know, the training experience is one that sets the stage. So when you do board that capsule, again, lots of muscle memory coming into play so you can focus on the experience itself. Our hospitality team is top-notch to ensure that you and your loved ones are taken care of. So you get to bring a +1. The day of launch, you're able to bring additional guests with you to commemorate the special experience of going to space.
Well, and this is such special footage we have of the days leading up to launch, right? For example, the astronaut crew is in the vehicle processing facility, what we call the barn, and they're learning from the crew member 7 expertise every, you know, nuance about the vehicle, about, you know, even right there when they're looking at our coat of arms, the symbology behind what everything means, what our motto is, and everything that's gone into thinking about Blue Origin. Look at that wonderful handstand by future astronaut Elaine. That's just, I mean, that's the level of excitement in the time leading up to launch.
The energy is just honestly incomparable. You know, it's something that we want people of all walks of life and all backgrounds. So that being said, you know, whether you are a gymnast like it looks to be Elaine Hyde is, or you're an artist, we want these different types of, you know, backgrounds to be going to space, so that way, you know, when they experience the overview effect, that's something I really love to lean into when we talk about the astronaut experience, because, you know, a lot of folks, they plan to go to the stars, but they weren't impacted, or they weren't prepared for the impact, if you will, that the overview effect can have. Being able to go up, look down at our beautiful blue marble, again, just for those that might not know, the blue marble, again, what we refer to as Blue Origin, our beautiful blue planet, that is where we get our name from. So when it comes to that, the overview effect actually can help almost rewire your mindset, how you perceive yourself, how you perceive your purpose, and how you perceive overall, timeline of what you want to do with your life and how can it impact when you return to Earth after becoming an astronaut on New Shepard.
Wow, what a great reflection, Isabella. Thank you. So I could watch this B-roll footage all day long. So let's actually return to the launch site where we have this crew on board of RSS First Step, a Perfect 10, getting ready for NS30, 10th human flight. Now this hold has allowed the team to do a few final vehicle checks. We expect it to clear shortly, so let's return to the pad, enjoy views of the crew while we get ready for terminal count. Well, sorry, first go, no go poll will be coming up next. Welcome back, everyone. We're at T-minus 10 minutes for NS30 that has entered a hold to complete the final booster configuration for flight. We have a new T0 forthcoming from Mission Control. Now, that means that the hold will clear momentarily, and after that, we will be ready to do the go, no-go poll at around T-minus 9 minutes. So let's wait for that while we continue to enjoy views of our New Shepard rocket at Launch Site 1.
First step will control that hold is about to be clear.
Welcome back, everyone. The hold is cleared. We're at a little under T-minus 10 minutes, and I'm hearing from Mission Control that they're about ready to do the no-go poll for launch. Let's listen in.
Engineering.
Go, green board.
Ground, release the weather balloon. Controllers, add UHF voice.
First up, with control, stand by for the flight director with your go poll for launch.
This is the flight director on channel 1 with the go poll for terminal count and launch. Capsule. Go. Booster.
Go.
Ground.
Go.
Safety.
Go.
Capcom.
Go.
Engineering.
Go.
This is the flight director. New Shepard is go for launch. Booster, commence terminal count.
Wilco.
Controllers, drop UHF
All right,
voice.
you guys, that poll, I love to hear it. It's always a thrill, goosebumps every time. You know, it really is the final waypoint to get us clear for takeoff today.
Game on, Isabella, and that was voice of flight director Michelle Christensen, who used to test BE-4 engines, and now she's running the whole show there in Mission Control. I mean, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Let's get her up there. Let's light this candle.
All right, thanks for joining us. We're at T-minus 8 minutes until liftoff. Let's take a moment and talk about the flight profile of New Shepard.
So New Shepard is a suborbital flight, and it's a fantastic way to be able to experience space because it is so accessible. It's a simple parabolic flight, so that means we're going to go straight up and straight back down when we're talking about that flight path, and it spans about 15 minutes total.
Right, the New Shepard rocket has developed a vertical takeoff, vertical landing architecture, and we want to dive in a little deeper on today's flight profile so you know what to look for.
7, 6.
New Shepard's mission
5,
begins when the
4,
countdown clock reaches 0.
2, 1, 0.
At this point, the engine will start and the rocket will lift off of the pad. It will continue under the boost phase for about 2.5 minutes until main engine cutoff. 20 seconds later, the crew capsule will separate from the booster and the astronauts will unharness and enjoy 0G. The crew capsule will continue past the Kármán line to an ultimate apogee of 350,000 feet, or 100 kilometers. The booster will autonomously land on the landing pad, ready to be prepped for its next flight. Around 3.5 minutes after separation, the crew capsule will begin to re-enter Earth's atmosphere. Parachutes will deploy around an altitude of 7,000 feet, or 2,100 meters, providing a nice, slow descent back to Earth. After landing, astronauts exit the capsule and are greeted by the Blue Origin ground crew, family, and friends to celebrate and reflect on their flight. New Shepard, an adventure unlike anything on Earth.
Okay, we're at T-minus 6 minutes. Let's take a moment and toss it over to New Shepard as we get down to the final minutes for our liftoff time. And there we have it, tuning into the action at the pad. Welcome back, everyone. We're at T-minus 4 minutes and counting as New Shepard awaits liftoff. We'll go through a series of final vehicle checks, right? An auto sequencer, a computer really takes over and completes what are called bit checks, built-in tests. And we'll see them on our screen. As we see them, we'll call them out for situational awareness, but these last few minutes prior to T0 are jam-packed, full of excitement and final checks as we get ready for NS-30, 10th human flight.
And that it just takes a long time, and we don't want the astronauts winded and like breathing hard in the top.
Now, right before we get into bit checks, you're hearing audio from guests that are watching nearby, almost as close as you can be to the New Shepard rocket. So if we've got some good reactions, we'll plan on sharing those with you all as we do takeoff. Oh, what a wonderful drone shot there approaching the launch pad. Isabella, you and I have been out there in West Texas for earlier launches. This is prime time right now. Adrenaline is high, and it's just exciting to be out there in West Texas. Looks like a beautiful day.
It certainly is. My heart's going out right now to the families that are getting ready to watch their loved ones soar to the stars. You know, when I'm out there in Texas otherwise, I typically am going to be holding the hands and holding on to those loved ones as, again, they are getting ready to see their loved ones have the journey that they will never forget.
2 minutes and counting. A great view here of all sides, really, of our launch pad, New Shepard, tail 4, RSS, first step. It's all coming together beautifully here.
Such a great backdrop for when one's going to go to space. We love to see those beautiful mountains in the background.
All right, less than 90 seconds to go. We're hearing hydraulic checks, pressurization system tests. Let's see what else we see. And those are the aft fins at the base of the vehicle that are moving through their full range of motion, again, completing their bit checks. These fins steer the vehicle on ascent and descent. "60 seconds. Just under 30 seconds. It's time to hand it off to mission control and launch this rocket.
T-minus 10. Go to proceed. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Command engine start. 2, 1. Ignition.
What a great takeoff shot. New Shepard is cleared the tower. Note on the bottom left that we have our speed and altitude graphics that will increase. They'll get faster and faster as the atmosphere gets thinner. And we've got B3 right now pushing the New Shepard rocket at 100% power level.
How exciting about 3G our astronauts would be experiencing as they are ascending into space.
I know, it's crazy.
Lunatic.
And again, the team here has been able to bring us that audio from the families that are watching as close as you can get to this launch and cheering on this flight crew, a perfect 10. Godspeed, New Shepard. Godspeed, a perfect 10. I mean, certainly look at that BE-3 plume. It's the colorless plume of a liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen engine. Throttling back right now for max Q. Actually, we've passed max Q, so BE-3 is back to 100% power level. So from here on out, Isabella, we're going to be faster and faster as the atmosphere gets thinner and thinner.
Look at her soar.
We've got a beautiful contrail there that the cameras are picking up, right? So that's just the moisture condensing as New Shepard pierces through the atmosphere.
Twice the speed of sound.
Oh my God.
We had a call there for Mach 2 from one of the observers. They must be tuned into the telemetry as well. That's twice the speed of sound, and this crew is supersonic.
Joyous with laughter.
All right, here in about 15 seconds, we anticipate the next milestone to be main engine cutoff. Miko, let's look for that. There we have it. Miko, in short succession here, will be vehicle separation, and then our astronauts will get to experience 0G prior to capsule apogee. Great view there from the propulsion module, looking down to West Texas, my favorite part of this world. The 0G indicator is flashing. We are getting very close to apogee there. You'll see the velocity meter hit 0.
I can only imagine what our astronauts are feeling right now. They have made it to what they came for today. They are in space, floating at 0G.
Oh, and enjoying these views, right? From some of the largest windows to have ever flown in space. We hear their reflections on the way back, but I can't imagine what they're seeing.
To the loved ones on the ground, wave hello. Your loved ones are in space.
And this tracking shot there, you can see both vehicles there in the middle of your screen as they reach apogee. Okay, we have apogee. We're on the way back down. We're beyond the Kármán line. What an exciting, exciting mission for a perfect 10. Wow, yeah, we've got great astronaut audio coming in. I heard
1 minute warning
of, excitement. And the 1 minute warning of microgravity so that the astronauts have full situational awareness of how much longer they've got in microgravity. Well, you can notice the telemetry on the bottom of your screen is tracking the telemetry of the booster. So it is coming in faster and faster, and the altitude is decreasing over time. Oh, go ahead.
What a great shot, though, being able to see both the booster and the capsule as they make their separate returns back to planet Earth.
Yeah, no, a clear day for weather. Everything's been picture perfect so far. And now we anticipate the booster will land about 2 miles north of the launch pad on our landing pad, right? And as we start to reach that atmospheric pierce point, those aerodynamic control surfaces on the booster begin to do more and more work. And so we expect that booster first and then our crew capsule. Just a great shot there about how the booster was getting faster or more faster, more quickly relative to the gumdrop-shaped crew capsule. Yeah, look, it just looks like the booster is floating, right? It's perfectly positioned. We do have those forward fins, it looks like, have been deployed, and those aft fins, you can even see them moving as they're steering the booster over the landing pad. Coming up, we'll see the drag brakes deploy. Oh, there they are, wow. Look at those deploying, and this cuts the speed of the booster in half.
Such a clean and smooth descent on that booster. Mighty impressive, Team Blue.
B3 engine relight. Here we go. Last 1,000 feet over the landing pad. And a great drone shot with Guadalupe Peak in the background. Looks like touchdown, tail 4. Wow. Welcome back to Earth, New Shepard booster. Incredible shot.
Phenomenal job, Team Blue. But everyone watching at home, stay tuned, hang in there. This show is not over by a long shot. Soon here, we're going to be seeing our capsule and know that our astronauts are returning home safely to Earth. Much to stay tuned for.
Right, and so these folks now are seated, they're buckled, they're experiencing 5Gs, and then we've got the shot of the crew capsule coming in.
How phenomenal. Again, Eddie, as you mentioned, that is gumdrop shaped, so that way it can help on its return to Earth, ensuring that it slows its descent. Now, while the parachutes are essential to providing...
Sorry to interrupt. Those are the drogues. Those drogue chutes will pull the main parachutes out here shortly. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Isabella.
No, we want to see those drogues come out because shortly here, we are anticipating our wonderful parachutes. Here they are now. And as they expand, we have not one, not two, but 3 beautiful, fully broadened, wonderful parachutes. Look at those go. Now, those parachutes are what's going to help make a gentle and soft touchdown, as well as a couple other safety systems we have in place. We do have a retro thrust system that's at the base of the capsule that, again, as we near the desert, as we near the ground, again, is going to soften that landing.
Right, so we call that the terminal deceleration system, the TDS system, and it essentially pushes pressurized gas towards the desert. It's like a hockey puck, if you've ever played air hockey at an arcade. It sort of just floats over the desert as it's kicking up that West Texas dust.
That's right. So if you're watching for the first time, I always like to note that dust we want to see. It is a dusty desert that we have, so that retro thrust system is, again, what's going to push up that dust.
All right, less than 1,000 feet to go here before the retro thrust system fires. If we've got a good drone shot, look for those happy astronauts with thumbs up signs and clapping. See how close we can get.
And touchdown! Welcome back, astronauts.
I mean, perfect 10. Should we say that?
I'd say 10 out of 10 for our astronauts and for the whole program here at Blue Origin.
I mean, it's always incredible to see a great and easy touchdown for our New Shepard crew capsule. Now, our crew capsule recovery team is currently driving out in a convoy to meet the astronauts. They're going to safe the capsule and get ready to open the hatch.
I am just thrilled for our astronauts, and I know that they certainly are, and it's setting in right now as they have just freshly returned to Earth and our newly minted astronauts. That's 5 of those, and Lane having been minted a second time.
Yeah, look, you still have that West Texas dust sort of lingering there from the retro firing system. The crew capsule comes back in a passive state, and so the team knows ahead of time more than likely where in the West Texas desert the capsule will land. Actually, from the drone shot we have there, we're pretty close to the road. So we'll anticipate that recovery team coming in on the road there to, to safe the capsule. They'll be led by crew member 7, and then they'll, greet their family members and just celebrate that they've been to space.
That's right. And as you can see, we're going to let our astronauts have their moment, take up that space inside of the capsule and commemorate their return to Earth with those that have only been on the journey with them and their other 5 astronauts that are on board with them.
So, Isabella, while we wait, we do have a special guest today, one of our former New Shepard astronauts, someone who has experienced this same flight profile firsthand that was in this crew capsule, Mario Ferreira. Mario, bom dia, como vai, tudo bem? How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Can you hear me good? Good afternoon. Congratulations.
Yes, Mario, I've got you loud and clear. Yeah, go ahead.
Congratulations to the new arrived team, especially to Jesus, our friend here from Spain that I was very happy to meet before he went into this space trip. And I just can feel how excited he is right now after this intensive and fantastic 10 minutes.
No, Mario, thank you for joining us to share your experience. How is it, to be in the crew capsule, having just gone to space, but before crew member 7 comes, before the family and friends? What is that moment like when it's just you and your crew touch down on terra firma?
Well, for sure, they're living a huge moment of adrenaline release. At the same time, they are feeling great by touching ground. They're looking over the windows to see who's approaching, but they all, for sure, if you get in the sound of the capsule, they're all excited, and a lot of us were screaming with all that adrenaline pumping up through our bodies, and with the happiness and joy of having such a thrilled experience and coming through, especially on this re-entry and coming down the capsule. It's a memorable experience for me. In terms of physical experience, the return was actually more intense than the takeoff, and of course the most memorable of all good feelings was being in space in zero gravity, looking out of the window. That is something that they will never forget, as I will never forget them.
No, Mario, you said it exactly right? You experience almost 3 Gs on the way up, 5 Gs on the way down, and 0 Gs when you're up there, so you really cover the full range there. Mario, let me ask, we know Jesus is very famous in his home country of Spain, and that he interviewed you for a documentary that recently aired on Amazon Prime Spain. I think it's called Calleja en el espacio. Tell us about what that conversation was like and what you both talked about.
Well, he came over to Portugal, to my office, and we were in Portugal, and talked because we have some other things in common, not only being to space, as he was now. He knew I went on the 22 mission. So also, as a coincidence, I did the Rally Dakar, the most intense rally race that there is in the world. I did it still in Africa. I was the last one in Africa. He did also the new wave of the rallies in the South Americas. He likes to explore the Arctic, Antarctic, like I did also several times. So we had a lot in common, and he came by since we weren't too far apart, and he wanted to listen firsthand, so I could explain how was the experience. So I think he felt that he would be better prepared by having this discussion and letting him know the procedures, how did I feel. So it was a conversation in advance. I hope that some of the things I explained to him of my experience did help for him to have better knowledge in advance and to have a great experience, as I bet he did.
Perfect. No, Mario, I think it's great to hear that as the astronaut community is growing, that you all are finding to be mentors and mentees and developing these relationships with each other. That sounds pretty special. When you flew on NS-22, I was at the desk with Victor Correa España from Brazil. He had a message for you. Is there anything now that you would like to tell Jesus before we wrap up?
Well, muchas felicidades, Jesus. Que te vaya bien. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and great to have you back, and looking forward to hear all the stories that you have, and look forward to see if you have some of those beautiful pictures inside the cabin.
Así es. Enhorabuena, Jesus. Mario, obrigado. Thank you very much for being here with us today. We really enjoyed hearing your perspective, and thank you for the message for Jesus.
Thank you very much. Congratulations to them all.
Isabella, just to hear back from someone who's done it firsthand and is sharing their experience with them, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, I love getting the feedback from our alumni. It's something to where I love to ask every single one of our flown astronauts, what do you wish you would have known before? What do you want passed down to the next generation of Blue Origin astronauts? And, you know, these feelings are so raw that we're getting ready to see as our astronauts are going to egress from that wonderful capsule.
Well, and let's return to the action out in West Texas. We've got some shots here of that recovery team. It looks like they've approached the crew capsule. So there's a few key sort of events here. They're moving the parachutes out of the way so that they're not a trip hazard. They're electrostatically discharging the crew capsule, performing any final venting maneuvers, and generally making it a safe space to have a celebration you know, that we're going to see here live.
We've got that CM-17 preparing. You know, they might have to hack down a cactus or two to get those staircase nice and stable to celebrate as each and every one of these astronauts steps out and makes their first step returning to Earth since becoming astronauts.
No, and, you know, I love playing the I Spy game. So, you know, there's a parachute in the top left corner in a mesquite bush, it looks like. And you've got Rob Frolowski to the right. He's holding the key effectively for the crew capsule hatch, right? So he can unlock the crew capsule, break that seal, and welcome the astronauts home. But he's only going to do that once the environment around the crew capsule has been verified safe.
So anecdotally, just a fun fact, I loved hearing from Sarah Knights, one of our CM7s, that on our last mission, you know, typically you'd think that we'd have astronauts ready to run out of the capsule, but in fact, as she went around, made sure every single one of them were ready, they took their time. They wanted to stay in, and, you know, we want to give them that time. So we have our team prepared to capture these emotions as they re-embrace and rejoin their family back on Earth.
Right, and that is our director of the Crew Member 7 office, Sarah Knights, on the left there wearing the feather. So between Sarah and Rob and the camera crew that we have out there, we're going to look for some live reactions. There's Rob again. He's about to open the hatch.
Welcome back to Earth, astronauts. A perfect 10 if I've ever seen one. Yeah!
Returning astronaut Lane Bess.
10 out of 10.
Thumbs up. And Jesús Calleja, bienvenido de regreso, Jesús. Look at that smile. And that's astronaut shot. Dr. Scott.
Taking in that moment, much to celebrate. Look at Elaine.
Oh, what a wave. What a wave, and what a smile.
Ah, I love to see it. and our 6th astronaut celebrating his return to Earth.
Wow, what a moment. And so now that the area around the crew capsule has been verified safe, these astronauts have egressed from the capsule. We see some hugs, you know, shows of affection, return, and just pride and emotion, as you were saying.
This is difficult for me now to explain because it's incredible, it's so marvelous. The heart is beautiful, yes. And the atmosphere is very one small line, and it's my small dream. I cry. Absolutely. Very emotional. Difficult for me to explain. Sorry. Sorry, everybody, but it's very special. Congratulations. Thank you.
For these guys, because the spin of the atmosphere, it sounds like, has got him feeling all sorts of emotions.
It's fantastic. This bigger home, the hair, is very important protection. See you. How was your experience? Congratulations. I can't believe just what You're an astronaut. This is your whole life. You did it.
I think I left half myself up there. I feel like I'm still there. It's a wonder. It's a wonder. I can't wait till you go.
I'm so happy for you.
I mean, I thought I knew what home was. But when I was floating up there, and you see it right there, it's like you're home, and then you get this new definition of what that means. It's incredible. And like, honestly, in there, I felt like I was in a cradle that you just made for me, and I was so safe. I was set on the River Nile with you watching over me, and I was going to get to somewhere really good. And I'm here now.
And you're there, yeah.
Back on Earth, which is the greatest part. And I remember just like being up there, and there was this pull. There was this just, I know we were weightless, but it was just like calling me. Earth was calling.
Congratulations, Elaine. Astronaut Rogue.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Oh, one thing.
Astronaut Rogue looks like the call sign with the new definition for home. Hails from Australia, Singapore, and planet Earth.
The one I took up.
Yes.
All right, Team Blue. 750 of you went with me to space. Thank you so much. All right, that's for you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Team Blue that accompanied astronaut Rogue. That's beautiful.
It's perfect, too. Look at that, NS-30, one of our newest repeat crew members.
Our great trainer. Excellent job, Rob. It was flawless, and the training helped us, really. Actually, I got a few things here, too. I'm going to give Cameron, who went up with me on our mission 19, NS-19, I'm going to give him his and his husband's wedding ring. Did.
Excellent.
Anyway.
Oh my goodness, congratulations.
Thank you.
You did it again.
Yeah, I got to tell you.
Welcome through.
I'll tell you, second time was better than the first, so everybody else who goes up, you got to go twice.
Perfect 10.
Meaning it wasn't, okay,
I gotta go.
It wasn't better. It wasn't better because I didn't have him, but I'm just saying it just feels good every time.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, congratulations.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you. Blue Origin.
We heard it here first. The second time is better than the first, and I mean, just what a special moment there between Cameron, who flew on NS-19, with Lane, and just returning, and the memento, the wedding rings, how special.
Everything I dreamed and more. The forces were wonderful. All the experiences in the blackness of space. It was everything you could dream of. Thank you so much. You made it. Congratulations. You're officially an astronaut. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you. Congratulations, You're good, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you, Blue Origin. Thank you.
Simply phenomenal. I love to see our astronauts that have gone to the stars and chosen to bring others with them, so that way their impact and their reach could go all the further. It has been an incredible day for all of us here at Blue Origin, and especially for our 6 astronauts on board. I've got to say it for the behalf of Blue, honestly, it was an honor to fly you to space today. And you know, you heard it from our astronauts first. I love to say it. You don't have to sell seats to space because truly it's one that you want to go back when you've gone for yourself. But I've got to tell you, if you would like to follow in the pioneering footsteps of these astronauts and purchase your seat to space, please visit blueorigin.com and click that big button that says Fly to Space. Your journey to visit the Kármán line is closer than you think.
And Isabella, if you'd like to purchase a mission patch to commemorate today's launch, head to the Blue Origin shop for patches and much, much more swag. Here's that patch again from today's flight, which is what our astronauts wore on their flight suits. Just a couple of highlights, right? The Southern Cross that represents Elaine Hyde's Australian and Singaporean heritage. The mountains representing Spanish mountaineer and adventurer Jesús Calleja, who has climbed the World 7 summit. The winding road sort of representing the road to space that each of our crew has taken to get here, and a dove with an olive branch representing Jesus Calleja's and Lane Bess's hope for peace for all. My name is Eddie. For Isabella, for everybody here at Blue Origin who call, you know, planet Earth home, thank you for joining us. Until our next launch, Gradatum Ferociter.
Have you ever dreamed of going to space and gazing back on Earth through some of the largest windows that have ever flown in space? We certainly have.
T-minus 10, 9.
A once-in-a-lifetime journey is closer than you think. It's your time to join the new generation of astronauts. To book your flight, visit blueorigin.com and click Fly to Space. Tell us as much as you can about yourself. We welcome you to the final frontier.